Hello and welcome. It's 8 p.m. on the clock. Time for the news on NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. These are the headlines. CEO mom kills 4-year-old son. Killed boy in Goa fled with the body in a cab to Karnataka. Arrested. Motive still unclear. India bloc moves ahead with seat-sharing talks to key meetings today. Congress, Samajwadi Party for Uttar Pradesh and Congress NCP Sena meet in the national capital for seat-sharing in Maharashtra. Uddhav Thackeray moves court on Speaker meeting with Chief Minister Shinde. Uddhav Thackeray says meeting highly improper. Speaker is now to rule on disqualification of Shinde and 15 others who broke up from the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mega roadshow in Ahmedabad. Prime Minister and UAE President hold the roadshow. Vibrant Gujarat summit in Ahmedabad. National Sports Awards 2023, Khel Ratna for Satvik and Chirag for badminton, Arjuna Awards for Shami and Ajay Kumar.
Shri Mohammad Shami.
Starting this evening with one of the shocking stories that has been developing since morning. A 39-year-old Bengaluru startup founder allegedly murdered her 4-year-old son in Goa and then travelled to Karnataka with his body before she was caught. Suchana Seth, CEO of artificial intelligence startup Mindful AI Lab, was arrested in Karnataka's Chitradurga on Monday with her son's body in a bag. She allegedly killed her young son in an apartment in North Goa's Candolim. Let me bring in my colleague Pratibha Raman, who is joining us from Panaji in Goa. She's tracking this story very, very closely. Pratibha, the entire country, and there is only one question after the initial shock that people want to know: why kill your own 4-year-old son?
Well, that is definitely a question that still remains unanswered, Ankit. But here I am at the service apartment in Candolim, right here in Goa, where she was stationed right since Saturday to Monday. She was occupying room 404, is what we hear, according to reports. And while she was stationed here, the hotel staff did really manage to find out that the son was missing as she walked out on Monday. And that is when the alert cleaning staff also, after noticing bloodstains in her room, did alert the cops, and the cops put on their thinking caps and intercepted the taxi driver who was escorting her from Candolim to Chitradurga. And once they alerted the Chitradurga cops as well, is when they noticed that after checking the car, there was the body of her son that was lying in one of the luggages. And that set the ball rolling in terms of how the case really unfolded. What we know for sure right now is that she has an estranged husband. They have been separated for quite some time, and the divorce proceedings were on in the court. And the husband is on his way to Karnataka's Chitradurga. He was stationed in Indonesia when this incident happened, and he is right now in Chitradurga. And very soon, in a few minutes from now, is when the postmortem will take place. And the fact that the lady is also in the custody of the police, further interrogation will definitely reveal the motive. But in the meantime, from Candolim to Chitradurga, what has really transpired? Here's a report coming up for you.
The Goa police have 6 days to piece together what caused 39-year-old Bengaluru startup founder Suchana Seth to allegedly murder her 4-year-old son at a Goa hotel room and then attempt to flee 600 kilometers to Karnataka with his body before she was caught. Miss Seth checked into the hotel in North Goa's Candolim with her son on Saturday, while her husband, who works as an AI developer, was in Indonesia. On Monday, she checked out of the room alone and asked the hotel staff to book her a taxi to Bengaluru.
Several details about this gruesome murder are as yet unclear, including the motive behind the mother having to take the drastic step, allegedly, of killing the child. Those confirmed so far are The boy was found killed or murdered inside a Goa service apartment. His body was stuffed into a bag and the bag was found in the cab that was hired by the mother to head to Bengaluru.
प्राइमा फेसी उन्होंने ये बोला कि उनके हस्बैंड के साथ जो रिलेशनशिप है दैट हैज़ नॉट गुड. इनके डाइवर्स प्रोसीडिंग्स ऑलमोस्ट फाइनलाइज भी हुआ है एंड देयर वाज सम कोर्ट ऑर्डर because of which she was very unhappy. We will check the veracity of the facts as well. So we have to do further investigation.
The police have credited the presence of mind of the hotel employee and the taxi driver for the arrest. According to the police, after Ms. Seth checked out of the hotel room, staff at the Seoul Banyan Grand Hotel noticed blood stains while cleaning the room and called the police. The police tracked down the cab and to avoid alerting or panicking Ms. Seth, they spoke to the driver in Konkani on the phone and directed him to a police station. The taxi driver, rather than being rattled by numerous calls from the cops, acted calmly and followed instructions. With Pratibha Raman, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Now some political news. The opposition India bloc is finally moving fast with its discussion on seat sharing, scheduling meetings cheek-by-jowl in multiple states. After talks started on Delhi and Punjab, today they were holding meetings for two of the largest states in terms of the Lok Sabha seats, Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra, which account for 128 Lok Sabha seats out of the 543 total seats. The Congress met the Samajwadi Party for Uttar Pradesh and then Uddhav Thackeray faction and NCP Sharad Pawar for Maharashtra.
बहुत ही संक्षिप्त में इतना ही कहूंगा कि ये पूरे संघर्ष का जो दौर चल रहा है उसमें हम सब एक साथ हैं, एक साथ रहेंगे, एक साथ चुनाव लड़ेंगे और महाराष्ट्र एक ऐसा राज्य बनेगा जहां ज्यादा से ज्यादा सीटें इंडिया गठबंधन के हम चुन कर लेके आएंगे. हमारे में कोई मतभेद नहीं है. सीट शेयरिंग में सभी सीट पर 1-to-1 बात हो गई है और लगभग हमारी सबकी सहमति उस पर हो गई है.
I'm really joined by the man who's been working overnight, over the days of, for trying to find seat negotiations. How close are you? Let's start with Uttar Pradesh, because this was a very brief meeting with Ram Gopal Yadav as well as Javed Khan. What did any discussion take place?
Well, when things are going well and when the things are going in the right direction, you don't need a long time to be persuading each other. We are on the same page. We are very, I feel that we were able to communicate very well. We all, both sides know UP very well, and therefore it didn't require a long introduction and things of that nature. We've had an excellent meeting and we've tried to understand the broad parameters, and we will now move forward. In the next couple of days, we'll move forward to specifying how the seat distribution can be done, and then we'll take a final call.
Let me bring in my colleague Sunil Prabhu, who is joining us from the venue of this meeting, the resident of Mr. Mukul Vasnik. Sunil, it was not easy. The first thing, there were allegations of the Congress dilly-dallying, but finally they are sitting down trying to figure out the seat-sharing mechanism. Maharashtra, all leaders came out with a lot of smiles on their faces. What is happening with Uttar Pradesh?
Well, Uttar Pradesh is going to be difficult. It's as you saw, a brief meeting. Each one's aspirations are different. The Samajwadi Party very clear that it will be only the Congress and the RLD. So these are definitely issues. There is also the talk of the Bahujan Samaj Party, whether there is a possibility of having an alliance with them. That seems virtually impossible now. Ram Gopal Yadav making that clear that it's not possible. The Congress not talking about that, having a direct discussion with the Samajwadi Party. But there's been no meeting in terms of aspirations, at least in Uttar Pradesh. Going down to other states, Ankit, in Maharashtra, because today was the final round of discussions in terms of the first round that has happened. They have been able to, and as Mr. Chenitala pointed out to us, Maharashtra will probably be the first state where they'll be able to have a seat sharing agreement signed as early as next week. Having said that, we'll have to get back to the other states. They have had discussions and with all the pre-existing allies, be it in Tamil Nadu as well as down south in Kerala, as well as other parties. So they will definitely continue with those seat sharing. But it's the pre-existing, the ones like Delhi, where they want to have a discussion. The Congress has had a discussion with the Aam Aadmi Party, but not ready to concede, for example, in Punjab. And then, of course, the state of West Bengal, where Mamata Banerjee is not ready to give more than 2 seats.
So a lot of twists and turns before all these creases could be ironed out, and trust Sunil Prabhu to bring you and get you the latest as far as the seat sharing agreements is concerned in the India bloc. Thank you, Sunil, for joining us with all those details. Moving on now, ex-Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray slammed Speaker Rahul Narvekar and his Shiv Sena and in fact has moved to the Supreme Court again after visuals of the Chief Minister meeting the Speaker at his official residence went viral. Uddhav Thackeray questioned the conduct of the Speaker, who is to give his decision on Shinde's disqualification by tomorrow.
कभी स्पीकर उठकर मुख्यमंत्री के यहाँ नहीं जाते, वो मुख्यमंत्री जी को बुला लेता है। लेकिन अब ये दोनों जो है सिर्फ मुख्यमंत्री और स्पीकर नहीं है। स्पीकर जो है वो ट्राइब्यूनल है और मुख्यमंत्री का आरोपी है। तो क्या एक जज जिनके ऊपर आरोप है उनको मिल सकता है क्या? तो यही एक आशंका आती है कि क्या इन दोनों की मिलीभगत तो नहीं है।
Well, tomorrow is the big day for Maharashtra politics. The question is that whether Eknath Shinde and his 16 MLA will be disqualified or Vidhan Sabha Speaker Rahul Narvekar rules against the Uddhav Thackeray faction. Today's press conference, Uddhav Thackeray faction has raised an important issue and objection regarding the meeting between Rahul Narvekar, the Vidhan Sabha Speaker, and CM Eknath Shinde 3 days before the big judgment Rahul Narvekar have to give. The question is that Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray faction is filed an affidavit in Supreme Court and asking Supreme Court to intervene is then better because Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray faction has said before Supreme Court that if the big judgment have to be given before that this kind of meeting has been taken place, so kindly intervene in their in this matter, and all parties believe faith and fair decision from the Vidhan Sabha Speaker. We have to wait and see for tomorrow what will Rahul Narvekar verdict will be, but all the MLAs has crossed their fingers and they are waiting for Rahul Narvekar's decision.
All right, moving on, trouble for the government of Delhi. Anti-corruption branch has conducted searches at the LNJP hospital. The searches were conducted for almost 3 hours. The anti-corruption branch of the Delhi government is probing an alleged nexus between some companies and a few Delhi government hospitals for use and supply of substandard and poor quality surgical equipment. Let me go across to my colleague Nukul, who's joining us with more details on this. Nukul, another, one more in the list as far as the allegations are concerned against the Arvind Kejriwal government.
Well, yes, this time it is the anti-corruption branch of the Delhi government. They are probing some irregularities which you were mentioning in this particular matter. They had in the FIR was registered, in fact, and there were several complaints which were also registered by to the health department and also the anti-corruption branch last year in October, in which the complaints were mentioned that the equipment, the surgical equipments, they are of poor quality and substandards. After which the ACB, they had conducted several searches and several surveys and found out that the quality of this particular equipments, the medical equipments and surgical equipments, they are of the poor quality, and which in the FIR it has emerged that the threads, the common threads in place of the cotton threads, the Chinese plastic wire has been used, and we found out in this particular matter. This is the particular allegation, and what we are given to understand that ACB has conducted the searches for almost 3 hours a day.
All right, so the ACB trying to unravel another allegation of a scam as far as Delhi is concerned. Nukul, thank you for joining us with all those details. Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in roadshow was also conducted in Ahmedabad. The Prime Minister today inaugurated the vibrant Gujarat Globe Trade Show 2024 on the eve of the main summit. The show is an exhibition spread across 2 lakh square meters in multiple halls at the helipad ground exhibition centre in Gandhinagar. Remember, this has been a marquee program of the Gujarat government since Narendra Modi was the chief minister there. Going across to my colleague Vasudha Venugopal, who's joining us from Ahmedabad with more details on this. One of the trademark Narendra Modi show, Vasudha, in Ahmedabad, not only the vibrant Gujarat summit, but also the road show and the way he met the UAE president.
It was truly in his own style. The roadshow was specifically the highlight of today's Vibrant Gujarat. Now, the Vibrant Gujarat gets inaugurated tomorrow. Let me make you meet this very important guest, Mr. Mukesh Aghi, who's the president of US-India Strategic Partnership Forums. And it's a very important organization that brings US companies together. Mr. Aghi, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. Last year was a landmark year for US-India, relationship. We saw the Micron deal happening. We saw US really help, support India in its presidency. What are US investors thinking specifically? Because, it's an election year for both India and the US.
Well, you have to understand that when you have a world which is in turmoil, you have war in Ukraine, war in Gaza, you have trouble in Red Seas, and certain economies struggling, India becomes a story of the century. You have an economy which is a $4 trillion economy, growing 7%, expected to keep on growing. You have a country which has a very stable government, and most probably the government will come back. So long-term stability, political stability is very, very important for the investors. So there are a couple of factors which is attracting investors into India. Number one is the growing size of the economy. They want to be part of that economy and be able to get market share of that economy. The second factor is the global turmoil, so especially with China. So they would like to de-risk their operations in China. India provides that pivotal role itself. And then focus on secure supply chain. India is in partnership with the US, providing secure supply chain. So from that perspective, India becomes an attractive market.
Thank you, Mr. Aghi, for speaking to NDTV. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now moving on. In fact, cornered Maldives is now in damage control mode. What we are learning is that there has been a proposal for the visit of Maldivian president to India. Meanwhile, Maldives parliamentary minority leader Ali Azim has called for removal of President Mohammad Moizu amid the ongoing diplomatic controversy with India.
After the three deputy ministers of Maldives government made derogatory comments about PM Modi, the Maldives government moved quickly and distanced itself from their comments, also suspended all three of them. But now there's a political storm brewing over this controversy, and the leader of opposition of Maldives has demanded that there be no confidence motion against President Moizu. Now, there is another MP who has said that the foreign minister should also be questioned about his failure to handle the situation. All these three all these three deputy ministers who made such a comment should also be questioned in the parliament about the things they have posted on social media. So now this has become a big political issue there as well. At the moment, President Moizu is in China on a 5-day tour, and this is also being looked at his closeness to China, because traditionally, the president who is elected, his first visit abroad is to India, and Moizu has been trying to show his distance from India, and he has also moved away from India first policy of his predecessors, and he has asked Indian Army personnel to be moved from India. So this controversy comes soon after all this has happened, even earlier in the relation, and this now Maldives is also in a damage control mode. But the industry which is most affected is the tourism industry, which is the mainstay of Maldives economy, and the tourism industry has been issuing statements saying, distancing themselves from these derogatory statements and welcoming Indian tourists, because in 2023 almost 11% of tourists in Maldives were from India. Almost 2,10,000 tourists were from India. But in India there are like social media trends which are saying boycott Maldives. However, no big minister here has made any comment on these derogatory remarks. Although the High Commissioner of Maldives was summoned to Foreign Affairs Ministry here. But the fact is that diplomatic decisions are not made on social media trends. So both the nations are important to each other. For Maldives, India is a big and closest neighbor which has come forward in every difficulty. And for India, Maldives is a strategically located neighbor which is also very important.
While it's peak of winters in North India, but even as the bitter cold conditions grip the plains, the hills across the lower western Himalayan region are devoid of their yearly bounty of snow, and that is a big worry.
What would usually be snow-capped mountains at this time of the year lie barren and deserted. It's an unusual winter in the hills. It's January and Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand have just got marginal snowfall and rain. 4 districts of Himachal and 8 of Uttarakhand are facing a drought-like situation. And the most affected of all are Rabi farmers. Uttarakhand's Udham Singh Nagar district has recorded the highest rain deficiency, and farmers like Govind Singh, who rely on crops like wheat, potato and peas, are the worst hit.
कम से 4-5 महीने बारिश हुई ना अब तो गेहूं के सूख रही है आलू के पत्ते जल रहे हैं.
In Uttarakhand, 6 lakh hectares of land is under cultivation. There's been a 47% shortfall in rain and snowfall since October. In the hill districts, 80% of agriculture is dependent on weather. The state government has asked for an assessment of damage.
अगर बारिश नहीं होती है सरकार की तरफ से जो भी मदद होगी सरकार उसे करेगी.
The situation is no different in Himachal Pradesh. Post-monsoon, there has been a 45% rain deficit, which went up to 83% in December, and as on January 8, 2024, a 100% rainfall deficit was reported. According to the Met Department, every year there was rain and snowfall after the monsoon due to western disturbances. But this time, there was rain only due to 3.
हमारा जो कूलिंग सिस्टम है वो कहीं ना कहीं तो प्रभावित होता ही अगर जो हमको जो एक नॉर्मल एक्टिविटी के आसपास चीजें नहीं मिलती है.
Meanwhile, up north, Kashmir's Gulmarg, which generally receives snowfall during this time of the year, has not received any in the last 2 months. However, that has not affected tourist footfall. In fact, the tourists say that despite no snow, they have come to enjoy the scenic beauty of Kashmir.
तो अभी आपको लग रहा है कि अगर स्नोफॉल होती तो ज्यादा मजा लगता?
हाँ, उसका भी एक अलग मजा है, पर कश्मीर तो हमेशा ब्यूटीफुल रहा है, सुंदर है.
While the farmers of Uttarakhand and Himachal wait for the rain, this heavy shift in the weather patterns raises several concerns. With Shirupa Goswami, Bureau Report, NDTV.